A welt pocket is a sleek internal pocket that's created by cutting through the fabric of a garment. You often see them on tailored trousers, skirts, jackets or coats. Welt pockets have a reputation for being a bit tricky to make, but take your time and they're surprisingly satisfying to sew. Keep watching and I'll show you a method to get neat trouser welt pockets each and every time. I'll be demonstrating on the Tilly and the Buttons Thea trousers sewing pattern. For this tutorial you will need a chalk pencil or washable pen, a ruler, a sharp pair of scissors or snips, some interfacing and matching thread. You will also need a back leg, 2 welt pocket opening interfacings, a welt facing and a pair of welt pocket linings. Draw welt pocket opening and cutting lines on the smooth side of 2 welt pocket opening interfacing pieces. On the right side of the welt, mark the stitching line. Mark the welt pocket opening on the right side of 1 welt pocket lining. Mark the 4 corners of the pocket openings on the right and wrong sides of the back leg. If you're sewing the Thea trousers, the next step would be to sew the dart, then go ahead and connect the corners to draw a rectangle. Fuse 1 welt pocket opening interfacing to the wrong side of the back legs directly on top of the pocket opening markings. Fuse the other welt pocket opening interfacing to the wrong side of the pocket lining you've just marked, matching the notches at the edges. Finally, interface the wrong side of the welt. Fold and press the welt in half, wrong sides together. With the raw edges at the top, lay it over the right side of the pocket lining, aligning the stitching line on the welt with the bottom line of the pocket marking so they're exactly on top of each other. Pin in place and tack or baste exactly along the stitching line. Trim the seam allowances down to 3mm or 1/8 of an inch. Place the pocket lining over the back leg, right sides together and align the pocket openings. The welt is sandwiched between these 2 layers. Pin them together along the top and bottom lines. A handy tip here is to poke pins through the top and bottom right-hand corners to match the markings on the legs underneath, and then continue pinning, checking the pins are running exactly along the lines from both sides. Stitch along the top and bottom lines, back tacking at the ends. Check the distance between the lines are an even distance from each other all the way along. With a pair of sharp scissors or snips, carefully cut along the cutting line. I find it useful to fold the fabric in half like this to do the first cut. When you get to the end of the line, stop and pivot up to each corner, stopping just before the stitching. Push the lining through the pocket opening to the wrong side. Fold the welt corners and push them into the little gap between the leg and the lining pieces and pull them through from the wrong side with tweezers. Give everything a good press, pressing the top of the lining up towards the waistband and the bottom of the lining down, rolling it slightly to the underside so it's not visible from the outside. Press the welts up. Lay the leg right side up and fold the fabric back at one end of the pocket opening to expose the little triangle of interface fabric. Stitch down the base of the triangle through the welt and the lining underneath. Repeat on the other side. Next, let's secure the edges of the pocket opening. Edge stitch the legs to the lining 1 to 2mm or 1/16 of an inch above the opening, stopping exactly in line with the end of the opening. Leave the needle down in the fabric, lift the presser foot up and pivot the fabric 90 degrees and lower the foot again. For the remaining 3 sides, stitch directly in the ditch, pivoting at each corner so the stitching is hidden. Finish all sides of the welt facing. Place over the right side with the remaining pocket lining, matching notches. Pin in place and then stitch around the edge. Place the pocket lining over the lining that's already stitched to the leg, right sides together and matching notches and sides. The welt facing should line up with the pocket opening. Pin and stitch them together at the sides and bottom edges and trim and finish all edges. Pin the tops of both pocket linings to the leg waistlines and tack or baste in place 10mm or 3/8 of an inch from the edge. Et voila! That's how you sew a welt pocket. I hope this tutorial has made you feel confident about sewing one yourself. There are lots more sewing tips and tutorials on our sewing channel. Happy sewing!